LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook all sat out for the Lakers, while Steph Curry remained sidelined with a foot injury. The Warriors, they did get the win over the Lakers, but Golden State, they've not looked quite like a playoff team over the last few months. In fact, since the All-Star game, the Warriors ranked 20th in win percentage and points per game. Compare that to entering the break when Golden State had the second best record in all of the NBA. But it feels like these guys are kind of starting to figure things out. Look, I know this is a Lakers squad that wasn't playing the majority of their starters, and obviously they have nothing really to play for. But nonetheless, you have Klay Thompson now who scores 33. He's starting to figure out his footing. And so, Perk, how dangerous can this Warriors team be here down the stretch?
You know what? They're dangerous enough to make it to the semifinals. But when I look at the Western Conference and I look at the Memphis Grizzlies and I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns, I just can't put the Warriors over them. And I understand Klay Thompson shined on the Lakers, but who hasn't shined on the Lakers? He has not looked like himself consistently. And so when I look at their lack of depth in the inside, it's concerning to me, because in the West, especially when you have to go against those athletic guards, you have to have somebody to match up with a guy like DeAndre Ayton for the Phoenix Suns. I know Draymond Green is a specialist, but you still need that center, that size and length to anchor your defense, and I just don't see it with Golden State. I really don't trust Andrew Wiggins at this point, and I know Jordan Poole, look, he's been phenomenal. We don't know when Steph Curry's going to come back, but like we talked about earlier, teams make adjustments. And so I want to see how he looks when he's actually that number one or number two guy or option in the postseason, and the team is keying up on him, because we already know that playbook gets about this thick come postseason time.
It's true, but Zach, it feels like this is kind of a common theme with the Warriors. We're just waiting to see how healthy these guys can ultimately be. Perk's saying he's got to wait to see what Steph Curry can give you here in the postseason. How dangerous is this Warriors team, perhaps, if everyone is at full health?
Well, first of all, 2 weeks ago, we were all in Memphis, Perk. You declared the Warriors' chances dead. So don't start resuscitating now. They were dead. It was over. They didn't have time to build their chemistry. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's what you said. And you know what? Those concerns are valid, because there's a lot of ifs with Golden State. If Draymond looks like himself, if Klay continues to get better, if Steph comes back looking like himself, if Andre Iguodala starts looking like himself. He had 7 assists last night. But you know what? I think enough of those ifs, let's say 60% of them, 70% of them, are going to tilt Golden State's way. They seem to be trending that way. Jordan Poole, he's legit. Andre Iguodala has looked pretty good since he came back. And if enough of those ifs tilt that way, and by the way, I trust Steph, and I think everyone's been way too hard on Klay this season. Klay shooting 38% from 3 on this kind of volume. After those 2 injuries, the dude is still a 5-alarm fire. If enough of those ifs tilt their way, I think they're the biggest threat to Phoenix in the Western Conference until absolutely proven otherwise. Nobody wants to play against this team. They play a style that is all their own, and no one wants to face them in a 7-game series. Do not sleep on the Warriors.
Zach, I'm going to go ahead and co-sign everything you just said there, because the reality is, yes, those ifs loom large, but let's talk about those ifs for a second. Klay Thompson, if he can find his rhythm, well, he's gone for 33-plus in 3 of his last 5 games. So maybe Klay is trending in the way that we need him to, Perk. Let's go about that if with Draymond Green. If that back holds up, he's starting to log some minutes. 32-12 is what this team is when Draymond's on the court. And defensively, it's the best scoring defense in the league. And as for Steph, well, we just talked about Tiger Woods, didn't we, and what Tiger Woods is doing. I believe the greats are resilient, and they find a way. Steph's going to elevate it. And if all these things align with the emergence of Jordan Poole, who, oh, by the way, since the All-Star break, has the best three-point percentage in the league, shooting 43%, a lot of things are starting to align. American Gangster, one of my favorite movies. And what does Denzel say in that movie? It's a brand name. I stand by it. I guarantee it. 2015, 2017, 2018. If these stars play like the stars and the health is there, I stand by it. I guarantee it. This team is dangerous and can go on a very deep run and flip the West entirely.
What do you think, Perk? Last word here.
You know what? The disrespect to the Memphis Grizzlies has to stop. It has to stop, because when we think about this young squad, right, yes, we always want to bring up experience and we want to talk about their youth. But listen, they're a bunch of young guys with old souls. And I don't know how much they have to prove to us. If a team show you who they are, believe them. And they've been playing well without John
one's
Morant. When John
disrespecting the
Morant-
Grizzlies.
No, yes, you are, because you said the only real threat in the Western Conference was the Phoenix Suns. Like
The
Memphis
biggest
Grizzlies not
biggest threat. The biggest threat.
Okay, no.
All right, we're going to leave this right here because clearly it's the Grizzlies, it's the Suns, it's the Warriors, and we'll talk about it a little bit later on.
These are
all right,
three-time
okay, let it
champs.
go. Just because you're here doesn't mean you get the last word.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.